Willie D Live.
We're celebrating 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah, we are.
Right. But 30 years up from the Public Enemy era.
Yeah.
30 years up from the struggle against apartheid in South Africa.
Yeah.
Hip hop played a role in that.
Yeah.
Hip hop is too young to have say that we directly played a role in the civil rights movement. Yeah. But then there was the George Floyd movement. My question to you, what do you think about the state of activism in hip hop right now?
I'm always happy. With rappers as activists has always been quirky or tricky. Mm-hmm. But rappers using their platform to aid activists always has been and always will be. Mm-hmm. You can in terms of the rappers that come out of the places in the South that I know and love, whether it be Atlanta or Memphis or Jacksonville, NOLA, you know, he's talking about Houston stuff, Dallas. People have always said things that were socially conscious. Mm-hmm. You know, in the midst of bouncing and shaking and gyrating. Right. We'll give you something. So it's always been there to always be there. What I'm happier to see now these days is people who actively know the activists. You know, rappers will tell you now, you know, you gotta listen to Tez and Figaro. You gotta check out what Charlemagne is saying on this. You gotta listen to the minister. Like I remember when the minister came down and called Minister Louis Farrakhan, for people who don't know what I'm talking about. He called all those rappers in and there was some unrest going on around the George Floyd thing. He calls the Tree Sound Studios in Atlanta, and everybody showed up. You know, me, Tip, 2 Chainz, but I think Boosie, Lil Duval was comedian with that. But he warned us against inciting violence because he's seen it before, the 60s and 70s. He said, you know, you can incite violence to give you momentary satisfaction. He said, but you guys are safeguarded from it. What you gonna do when they block off a neighborhood for 2 weeks? And they cut off the water, and they don't allow food in and out, and then your women and children starving. He made everybody in that room think that we had never thought before. You know, everybody talks about the revolution. They think about taking up arms and overtaking the government. That didn't work too well for white folks on January 6th. You know? And so when you look at what's the most revolutionary thing you could do, really only 2 people who've done it has been, say, a Marcus Garvey and Elijah Muhammad, in that raise your own economic workforce, create your own farms, grow your own food, teach your own children. That's the real revolution. So he helped us understand that in that day. And after that day, you saw brothers from Thug put it in his music. Future had put it in his music. 2 Chainz went and visited him. So for me, man, it's just about we accept guidance and we accept wisdom, and it's in the music. You're not gonna hear it most of the time, the adults, because you don't want to hear it. But kids hear it. They move. When I did the Black Banking movement, God bless the dead, Young Dolph, Thug, I remember Rah Tip was some of the first people that showed up. You know, Thug hadn't even had a bank account. I think he was still keeping his money in the floorboard.
That was like 2016.
Yeah, that brother showed up and brought a lot of brothers with him. So, you know, it's active. If you want to find the good and see the good is there. I remember the song Run that's on my album. People say, well, I don't know why Mike had Thug on it. He's not saying nothing. No, you're not listening. You know, he said, I'm thinking the same, but I ain't banking the same. You talk about buying his girl some jewelry. So he's still gonna buy his girl the jewelry, the Birkin bag, but now he's doing it out of a black bank. He's investing with a black bank. But if you're not listening, if you don't want to see it, you're not gonna see it. He said, I'm gonna take the children, put them on a yacht. You know, we gonna escape on a yacht. And I just envisioned on that part where he was putting all us back and reversing the transatlantic trade, putting children back, taking them back to Africa. So my thing is, if your imagination or your logic won't let you see it, you're not gonna see it, but it's there. The activism is still there in the music.
That's real.
You know?
That's real.
And the business ownership, I gotta say, you know, hip hop has always been defined as, you know, you DJ, you b-boy, what they call breakdance and graffiti and writing and then MCing. But I would add business as a 5th pillar. What you see now is every rapper represents a certain amount of jobs and commerce and
that's a big part of the activism.
That's a huge
that's economic activism.
Yeah, absolutely. Without that, you don't have anything.
No, you don't.
If you look at right now, African nations that are making deals with Russia, it's based on the economy, and they say, well, the rest of the Western world has never treated us fairly from an economic standpoint. So right now, the U.S. dollar, I don't think it's going to break totally, but it definitely is under fire because finally people are saying, well, I'm tired of it. And you look at Russia forgiving $56 billion in debt. When France going to forgive the false debt that Haiti has, that it doesn't really owe? You understand what I'm saying? And if hip-hop doesn't rap about it or don't talk about it, the young people don't know. So I just say, but I would be more encouraging. I would encourage 40 and 50-year-olds to be less discouraging because that's what they did to us.
Come on.
They did that to us with Public Enemy. They did that to us with the Coup. They did that to us with Good and Mob. They discouraged every step of the way, but yet we made it. We did it. So I think we should become more encouragers and less discouraged.
Yeah, that's part of the Willie Lynch cycle, like they say. Separate the young from the
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
You know, somebody got to bridge the gap.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
that's
take-
not just us. It works other places too. I was watching something that was talking about North Korea and how they operate. They operate by making the state the parent, essentially. You know, your state becomes the children get to snitching on the parent of who's doing what, because the control gets out of your direct control. So hip hop, we have to be parents, and we have to be uncles and aunts, and we have to be elders, and we have to give children the truth. You know, you can't shame them for bouncing and shaking, and you went to freak meet. You got to say, well, hey, I went to freak meet. And then this is, so let me tell you how not to get freaked out your knee. You know what I'm saying? we got to.
Right. Yeah. Now parents listen to Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh, man, my mom loved Teddy, and our grandparents listen to worse music than that. I asked my granddad one time, I said, man, what you think about NWA? Niggas without to. He say, man, ain't never old Stagger Lee. Them niggas ain't saying nothing new. And it helped me understand that nothing I'm going through is new. There's nothing new under the sun.
But what is it about us? It's like we have to compete for generational supremacy. My generation was better than yours. Because the more I get up in age, I hear my friends tell the youngsters things like, the music don't sound like it sounded back when I was. I hear we enter into more back in our day conversations.
Because that's what felt good to you. It felt good in your day, but you got to be honest about your day now. You weren't always right, you know.
Absolutely.
And I remember talking to George Clinton, interviewing him in my barbershop, my original barbershop. And he said, man, when I don't like something, I know usually I'm on to something. Because my grandkids will come along and tell me what they like about it. He said, I give it a second chance, and I listen with an unbiased ear.
That's
and
real.
you just got to get like that. You got to find commonality. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to like it. You know what I mean? Like I said in an interview, I say, this album, I'm the best. I don't care if you super lyrical, empirical, lyrical, or you mumble. Blah, blah, blah. Don't matter to me. I did the best this year. But I listen to everything. My kids, when I get with my kid, I have a 16-year-old daughter, a 25-year-old daughter, I sit with them like, what you listening to? What you got? Like the Sexy Red song. My 25-year-old daughter said, she said, Daddy, I'm going to play this. I don't want you to hear it, but I'm going to play. I said, let me hear it. When I heard it, I said, well, damn. I said, that's almost like the first time I let your grandmama hear throw that dick. And she was like, what? I said, yeah. I said, I was in the car with your grandmama. I said, I was playing Luke and the Two Line Crew, and I said, they had recorded, they sampled an old comedy record that your great grandmama listened to. And I said on there, the lady said, the guy said, I'm gonna slap you with 9 inches of lip. And my mama was smoking the joint and said, shit, I wanna see that. And it was so funny because in that moment, my mama was just a human being. She was only 16 years older than me. So it was like a big brother, a big sister, little brother relationship. So we already had a good relationship. But seeing my mama as a human being, it just made me giggle. And now my daughter's doing the same to me, and I gotta listen. And I'm just like, girl, your daddy grew up on Luke and the Two Line Crew. It ain't much you can let me hear to shock me.